Fox show's gonna be on the red carpet doing her Xavia Fox red carpet thing.
Hey everybody! Yeehaw! Oh, you can't win if you're not in the game. Give me a beat. So our next question is one that was kind of came from last year's men's panel, because they talked about how there's a difference in women that were raised by a mother and a father versus a woman that wasn't. So our next question is from Carla. Is there a difference in a man that was raised by his father versus one that wasn't?
I really do just think it really does vary. I've seen a lot of instances and personal instances. In particular, my son, I have 3 children, okay? 1 is by a previous relationship and 2 is by my husband. His father was not raised by his father. And so in that, it was harder for him to know which direction to go and what to do for a child. You know, I kept asking him, you know, will you do this and can you do that and things of this sort, you know what I'm saying, as far as taking care of his own child. And, you know, that made me think, you know, my son here now, the cycle continued to go. You know, his father's not here to raise him. So, you know, I am a very, you know, I believe in spirituality. Jesus is, he's my savior. You know, I pray for him to have a male figure. Now, a father is not just the man who actually gives the sperm to have a child, okay? A father is a person who actually raises the child, who actually says, hey, this is what you do when this happens, or, you know, there to wipe the knee when he bump his knee or something like that. So now my husband, been together with him for 11 years, been raising my son for 11 years. He's 13 now. And to piggyback on that, my husband was not raised by his father, but he had many male figures in his life. So he knew exactly, not exactly, everything is not written in the book, you don't know exactly what to do when it comes, but he understood what it took at least, because he had someone there telling him what to do. And he actually said, because his father wasn't in his life, that, you know what, I'm going to be in my children's life. So it could go one way or the other. Either it's going to push that man to be a better father or a better man because he didn't have it in his life, or he's going to turn one way and say, you know, since I didn't have this in my life, they're going to play like or not play like, maybe they just don't know. They're just not going to do the things that it's going to take.
I honestly have to agree with you, because as in hindsight, and now I know better, that I have dated the last 3 relationships, men that don't have a father figure. And what I've realized is they neither have someone that can show them, we're talking about relationships, how to be in a relationship. Where are they getting it from?
Right.
They have no example.
None.
Now, I'm just seeing a person whose father has always been in his life, and I see a tremendous difference. I mean, it is huge. I was married to one man, didn't have a father, and one man that did, and the differences between the way they treated me is bad. I mean, it's very bad.
Right.
A person that has had a father and who knows at least how to, you know, what route to go in, not saying it's necessarily the best route, because his father wasn't that great, but he knows the route to go. He knows how to treat a woman, and he knows the differences. This is how I should treat this woman, and this is how I shouldn't. Whereas a man that doesn't have a father at all doesn't have a clue. He can only go from what his mother had, and that was little or nothing. So there's a very big difference. Now, I have 3 children. My oldest son has his father in his life 24/7. And I can see the difference between the way he treats his girlfriends and the way my son, whose father has never been around, treats his. And there's a tremendous difference. And I thank God my daughter, she knows her father, and she has older brothers, and I mean, I wish I was her, because she don't take nothing off a man at all. But that's because she has older brothers in her life that can guide her and show her this is the way. And in my opinion, it's just that if you don't have a father at all and you don't have those male figures, you don't even have a lead or a route to go in. You're just winging it. And basically what happens is women are experiencing these men that are out there just winging it. Okay, that didn't work when I was with her.
Yeah.
That didn't work with her. But they have no experience of what their father did for their mother because he wasn't around.
And then that's what me personally, having being a single mother of a son, I decided, you know what? First of all, I know I can raise him to be a great person.
Exactly.
As much as I can. One thing I cannot do is to raise him to be a man.
Not at all.
Because I am not a man.
Not at all.
So I really focused on him, you know, and I did pray about this whole situation. Lord, I need you to send my son someone that he can learn this from. And I took a lot in with that. You know, we play a big part in our children's lives, especially when it's a son and you want to give them a male figure. If the father's not wanting to be there, there's a lot of people that you can put into the child's life that gives them that male figure, even if it's the boys club or church or uncles, pastors. You do have to be careful who you let your children be around, because I've seen some situations also turn bad by letting the boys be with that uncle that you don't know too much, and you wonder why we have a lot of confused boys out there now. You know what I mean? So we have to be very careful. So there is a difference. It's just, it can go either way. It depends on what they decide once they grow up as a man, what they want to do in their lives, though.
And then I have come in contact with a father of my oldest son. His dad didn't have a father, but he decided, I was raised by my mom. I'm going to do what I think that my father should have done if he was there. But, I mean, he's in that small percentage of men that, and we you know, he's a dog, but we're not going to put that. I mean, but he's a good father. He's a good father. As a husband.
It's a good father.
Sorry. Yeah. But as a father, he's a great father. But he decided at a young age, I'm going to do what my father should have done if he was here. Right. But every man doesn't have that. He's just going to, and then you have the my boys factor. This is what all my boys are doing over here. So I can't stand alone and do something different, because then they're going to clown me and they're going to pick on me. But if you have a real father who showed you what to do with your mother and said, this is how I treated your mom, this is how you should treat the young ladies, then that's fine. Because I told my son, guess what? You don't have that? Okay, but I'm going to show you. Treat them like you want me to be treated. Treat them like you want your sister to be treated. And as a matter of fact, they might get clowned by their boys because they're like, why? You've been with the same girl for 2, 3, 4 years. Yeah. Because I taught them, if you're not going to do it for them, do it for me. Because you don't want this clown coming and walking in my door, treating me any other kind of way. So you need to treat her like you want me to be treated.
Another thing we have to do too is, if we're dating, we can't allow our sons or our daughters to see people disrespecting us. Because I don't bring any and everybody home. I'm not arguing and fighting with anybody. I don't allow anybody to. You usually don't meet my kids, so you don't get a chance to disrespect me in front of them. I'm not hooping and hollering and cussing and fussing on the phone at people. So I let my children see how a relationship, whatever it is, should be. Even if it's your relationship with your boss or your neighbor or whoever. I got neighbors out there hooping and hollering, acting ignorant. I'm like, don't be out there like that. Because I don't care how old I am, I will break out the belt and I will come and find you and whoop you. Don't be the loudest, don't be the ignorant. So when they see how I act and how I interact with all people, not just people that I'm dating, then they know that's their example. Like my mama, she will find me. It don't matter how old I am, she will find me and she will get me.
My father actually said that when I was dating. He was saying, you know, be careful who you date in front of your child, because you don't want him to disrespect women in the future. If he sees you doing something, this is how he's going to grow up. So my son didn't meet my husband until we were really serious. He didn't meet anybody I was dating until we got serious. And the little guy he was 2, and he was like, what's he doing here? Why is his stuff in my closet? This is what my son says at 2 years old. So a lot of people think that because they're small, that they don't see what's going on around them also. but they pick up.
They know.
Kids are very smart and intuitive. So, you know, we do have to be very mindful what we are doing in front of them and what we are showing them in the example that we're placing in front of them.
Well, I don't have any children, but my parents have been married like 43 years. It will be 43 years in January. Yes. And my brother, he's been married to his wife, I believe it'll be going on like 14, 15 years. So those are the examples that I have to look at. And then when I look at the examples of maybe girlfriends who have children, male children specifically, with men who aren't necessarily as present in their children's lives, I see the differences, and half of their stories I don't really know for my friends, past significant others, but for the ones who I do know, father wasn't there, and it's just a repetitive cycle. And when I look at my father, and I look at my brother and their relationships with their wives or what have you, my mother, my sister-in-law, totally different. I mean, it's those nuances. It's not the big thing, but it's the nuances of their relationships that I see that my brother is instilling now in his son, or that my father instilled in my brother, that makes not only the relationship with the person who's there with work, and with, of course, with problems, but also to show that, son, this is how you treat your woman. This is how you treat your lady. This is how you show respect. You don't, you take care of home. It's okay to bring the money home and put it on the table. It's okay. This is how you take care of your family. It's okay if you got to work these penny jobs, or you got your major job and you have to work another little job to make sure that your family is taken care of and your family is whole. And when I mean, even little stuff like down to my little nephew's haircut. My brother, look, this is how you got to do this, because persona and your presentation is important. So you don't just come around with your pants sagging and your white teeth.
Help.
So those little things, again, those nuances is what I have experienced and what I observe, and that's what even makes my dating experience just that much more imperative, because I can't go with the nonsense. I just can't, because I know that's going to infringe on me later on down the line. Because if, oops, I found out I'm pregnant and this is who I'm looking at, that's the problem.
That's it.
That's the key, a really key point that you just said about getting to know the person before you have babies with them. Because all men are born through women. And we make the choice to date the men and to have sex with the men and have these babies. And we a lot of times see signs that they're not going to be a good father or something. And we, overlook, and then we raising babies for ourselves, and then we kind of blame the men. But it's we play the part. They're birthed through us. They come through us. They are of us. So we have to start making better choices, like she was saying, when you're dating early on, to be like, no, you ain't gonna be my husband, so you're not gonna father my children. Like,
absolutely. Well, I know my father said that in the black community, a lot of times every man is his own father, because there were so many fatherless boys. My father's father left when he was 2 years old. I was like, I didn't know black people got divorced in the 40s, but they were divorced in 1942. His stepfather came along. My father had come back home from college and was like, hey, how you doing? Wow. My father was already 20 years old. You can't parent someone at 20. When I decided to be with my son's father, the impression he gave was not the one that turned out the reality. He was like, my father lived with him every day, but he wasn't there for him for the sporting activities and this and that. He was a star athlete. So you would think that, knowing how that felt, you would be there. My son played football, basketball, baseball, softball, karate, bowling, and a couple other things. He made a total of 10 minutes in the past 10 years, 3 football games. So a lot of times you get into the situations thinking that because someone has had the negative experience that they're going to take the higher road, but that doesn't always happen. And they don't even know a lot of times that they're not going to do it. So I do think that, knowing how my son at 17 years old is now, he does not know some of the manhood development. My father died when he was 8. That's who was there for him up until that point. So from 8 until 17, he's had coaches, he's had me. But as far as the day-to-day, no, man, we don't do that. You know, let me show you how to change a tire. Let me show you how to do some things around the house that a man does. He doesn't know. And I regret that for him. And I hope that in the future he takes it upon himself, beyond the training I've given him, to learn more from a man that's reliable. Because the Boys and Girls Club and all that are wonderful institutions, but just like anything else, they're transitionary also. So the mentor that was here today may not be here next week. And after a while, that gets to be too much for the children. They don't want to deal with that. So I'm just saying it's a lot more into the manhood, fatherhood, be around, raise a boy thing, and a girl thing than we thought it was.
So if we can't get men to be around for their own children's sporting events, who's going to tell a man how to date another woman? You can't even get them to talk about their hygiene, their education, their culture.
Right.
So now, when it comes to them dating us, they don't have a clue. So we're just experiments and research throughout their course of living.
No, we have to look at it as a bigger picture. From 1960 to 1970, the divorce rate increased 162%. We are the beginning of the single parent, single mother, latchkey kid generation. And if you look around at our generation of men, they are not the same as our fathers and grandfathers. And that is a predominant cause to me, because if you got a single woman with the every other weekend manhood training with the father and 2 weeks in the summer, what you got on your hands?
Nothing.
You got a monster on your hands.
Nothing.
And I mean, we also got to look at it, then this is a twofold comment. Like, on one hand, yes, absolutely, I think we all are in agreement that male children who are born into families where it's just the single mom and the father isn't present, that they are at a disadvantage.
Sure.
Yeah.
Hands down. But I don't want to negate the fact that, just like some of you other ladies have said, that you still are able to call out that AA, you know what I'm saying, that aid and assistance from other people in your lives, father, your own father, uncles, or whomever, because there's still good men that I think that can come out of single families.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? I just, again, now I think there are some disadvantages. I mean, the statistics will show that emotional health, mental health, all those things are lessened if that biological father isn't in the home to give, like you said, those skills of culture and hygiene and those. This is how you do this, son, or whatever the case may be. But there's still some awesome mothers out there.
But then you have the women that didn't have a mother to raise them, to show them what is acceptable to receive from a man. So they're giving them anything and everything. So then when I come along and I say I have standards, they're saying, why deal with you when you have standards? When I can deal with her, I can buy her a cheeseburger and we on a date and I'm getting some tonight.
Oh, but
I personally think that sometimes, I mean, I was raised by a father, my brothers were raised by a father, their fathers were, I always had men in my life. I personally, in my own mind, think that I attract good men. I don't really usually come around. I hear about this. I've not had to deal with a single parent and fathers not being around. I have only daughters.
I'm hanging with you.
I only have daughters. I only have daughters. My daughter's father is thebomb.com. He's an excellent father to my children. So I just personally think, I don't know if it's a mental state, or is it that sometimes men know the kind of women that they can get away with certain things. You know what I mean? A lot of times I feel like I have a quiet voice and I have a quietness about myself. If I say to you, you know, I don't like what you did the other day, and then I might say it to you 3 times because you repeated it 3 times. But guess what? My actions are not going to show you. I'm not the type that's going to yell, scream, holler, kick. What I say, I mean. And a lot of times women use their voice and they're always saying what they're going to do and what they're not going to tolerate, but you're tolerating it.
So, over and over and over.
Right. So it's really based on your actions, because sometimes you can raise people up to your standards. You can make people raise up to their standards.
I totally agree with you.
Baby,
I'm gonna do what you're allowed to do, but what we're talking about is the generalization of what's out there.
Yes.
So I would love to come and hang in your circles and see what you're dealing with, because I'm not dealing with it personally, but I'm seeing my relatives and friends deal with it all the time, and I'm just sitting back and I'm saying, this is the majority, not the minority. So I would love to come around where you are and see these men, because I'm telling you, I will put it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and any other social media that's available, because we don't see this.
Right. And I don't know if it's because I'm an only girl with brothers. I have 3 brothers, so being raised with a father, my mother, both my parents did, but my father was like, took on more of the primary role as far as getting us to school every day, making sure we had the right lunch money, the right bus fare to get home, being on the PTA. So he was a primary parent. Then to co-sign, I had an older brother. And by having an older brother, I had 2 younger brothers. So I still had these other men. It's like, no, you don't do that. You're a girl. So I know. I know what it is. So when someone comes to me, I can just.
We'll be here together, because my daughter has that. That is exactly what my daughter has, and that is exactly why she's different, and I wish I was her. I had none of that.
But see,
none of that.
You're correct, but there are some people that, due to background, they may want to be where you are. They don't even know how to get where you are, because they don't have the background foundation to get there. I've had to tell men, just in case you don't know, I had a father. And I know how a man is supposed to treat you. And they had to sit back and go, what do you mean? Because at 30, 40 years old, they, from other women, had not been told, oh, that's not acceptable. But they had not been raised to even understand what was acceptable. My son doesn't even see me date. Like I said, I don't bring anybody to the house. He met the gentleman I'm going to marry, because I'm going to marry. He's never seen that. But the downside of that is, then who's even watching dating? Nobody. So his best guesstimate is him and his homies, which none of I'm not sure any of you all might watch the man just yet. And that's how we're trying to figure this out. So there's still, even with the advantage of not running cats in front of him, the disadvantage of him not knowing real, come to the door for me. Don't honk the horn. I told him that. But
it's
the boys are out there doing that.
It's a difference in seeing it, because I have taught and raised my sons. This is what I've been through. This is what is unacceptable for me as your mom to allow you to do. And to be honest, I would love to date them, because I raised them and I told them what not to do. But I can't find nobody that can hold a candle up to neither one of my sons, and I raised them myself. So it's just like, like you said, what example do they have? They had mom said, this is what she went through, don't go that route. So they have their boys like, boy, come on, man, I got 5 girls out here. No, I got 1. My mom raised me to have 1, and if I decide to mingle, I will let the woman know, you know what, I'm not on that.
And then you all have
but what I'm getting at my age is not the same thing.
I mean, what they see in the media is even worse than most of their homes.
Oh, that's not even.
The reality shows, the urban hip hop, the flavor of love.
Stevie J just off the chain. I mean,
I've never seen it.
If that's
Thank God, I've never seen it either.
Children have to look up to
Stevie J.
I don't know.
I know he has a major influence on Facebook. Whenever that show is on, that's all you hear is
Don't let me get on here on my phone, contrary to Xavia's instructions to start.
Ultimately, a man has to make a decision. Because I know a lot of men who've been raised by parents, both of them, and still decided to not be a good man or a father to their children.
But why? Because they have no one holding them accountable, and that's my point. We're in a generation where we have so many women that are just like, I'll just take whatever you got, whatever is left. And so then you have me coming in saying, no, you got to do X, Y, Z. And they're like, why do I have to do X, Y, Z when I can go over here and get it for free or little or nothing?
Bye-bye.
Good night. And I'm just like, okay, well, Dr. Armstrong,
I would
close the shop.
You know what I always say, I always tell my friends, and they strongly disagree with me, I'm always the one who's judgmental when I just voice my opinion. But I always tell them, we need to stand up and be accountable for it. We can't keep bashing these men for what they did. It's what we allow them to do. We have babies by then. We have not done our homework. We don't, how many of us know right off top that these men come from 2-parent homes or single families? We don't ask about their siblings. We don't ask about their parents. We don't ask anything.
And their mothers will tell you. Their mothers will tell you. If you talk to them, the mothers will tell you.
But one thing I say to people all the time, because they'll say, well, that's your baby daddy, you chose him. One thing that I have noticed, just in my situation, I have dated a couple of really nice guys. They were good guys and they were good fathers for years until the day I stopped sleeping.
Exactly.
And it happened time. I mean, my baby daddy was a good man. He was a good baby daddy for years after we broke up. So we still messed around. The day I stopped sleeping with him, it was a wrap.
Yeah, because he told me,
he's on to
let him,
girl
he can take care of her, because since you with him, I'm going to let him take it. I'm going to let him take care of my daughter. How can you tell me I can see into the future and see that he will say that? So there's no way in the world I can do a background check and for my daughter's father to tell me, you know what, you don't want to be with me no more, let him take care of her.
And he's a good father now. Really? To that girl's children that he's with.
Exactly. Oh yeah, he real good.
He's a real good father.
As long as he's going to be with her, he's going to be a good, oh my
she's
God.
With him, so he's a number one there right now. But not
so you can't see that coming. I don't care what you do.
So outside of the fact that, okay, so you stopped giving up the good, so now he's like, okay, I'm good on you. But then
it took a little time, but
so he's missing out on his child's life, who he's been with all that time.
Or my guys was immediate, and yes.
And I'm just perplexed about this because it's like
no remorse.
Xavier's going to ask the men that on their next question.
How do you do that?
Because some say a man's heart is where his soul is.
That is something we can't cover. That is something we cannot cover.
This is it. Most men are with the children of the woman that they are with. It's not about biology to them. It is about who they are with. There are some men that are not. There's some men that are down with their biological children, whoever you with. But there's an overwhelming majority right now that roll with the woman's child that they are with.
And just forget about your own seed.
Yes. When they look like you.
My son's
father. They're like,
When I told my son's father, when he was coming out of 8th grade, I said, look, Chicago's getting a little rough, because he lives in Aurora, or at least I think he does. I don't know where he is, really. Can we negotiate that he stays with you during the week to go to school, and he comes here on the weekends? He said, bitch, who you trying to fuck?
Wow.
That you want to get rid of your kid.
Wow.
I'm talking about your child's safety.
Wow.
And education.
And education. You told me, who am I trying to get down with to get rid of my kid?
On her vagina.
Wow.
But that was his concern. And if I needed his help, I had to submit to his bullshit.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Negative.
So, and 17 years, 18 years, previously, if you had asked me he would be like that, or trade my life, I'd be dead today.
You wouldn't know.
I had no clue. Knew his mama, knew his daddy, who were together, knew his grandparents.
And you know what this is leading up to. Face to Face is right around the corner.
Welcome to the Mocha City Beauty Lounge and the Mocha City Cafe. You can find a full-service salon, spa, and cafe right on the premises. All of our services are done in independent suites. So let me give you a glimpse into what your salon services will look like when you come. So you have your chair. This is where you get your services done. We offer our dryers, our shampoo bowls, and of course your mirror. Now what's different about the Mocha City Beauty Lounge, a lot of services, as you are familiar with, are not done in independent private suites. Here You can have all of your services, including your shampoo, wash, and dry, inside one of our exclusive suites. So if you follow me down here, we have a massage facility. The massage therapist is absolutely phenomenal. And I'm going to walk you over so you can see our massage room. This is where the beautiful relaxation of our massage therapist takes place. You will not be disappointed. So stop on in, make sure you see our massage therapist, and have a great experience with her. I'm going to show you another one of our salon suites and our barber suite.
And I love the controversy. Whenever I start talking, it just set people off.